learn emotionally. So if they come to school and they don't feel good about themselves, they feel left out, excluded from their system, they're really not going to be able to engage fully. My name is Janet Goldblatt. I am one of the directors of ECL South Africa, which stands for Enhancing Children's Learning. It was a program which was developed in the United Kingdom by educators, psychologists, and what we call family constellations. What they did is they got together and formed a program based on systemic principles, which would be brought into a school and run as a training for teachers who could go into a classroom and really relate to the children in a nurturing way, but also where they can, how do we really relate, how do we nurture a child when we understand a child in terms of who is this child, in terms of their system, where they come from, what's behind them, what are they really bringing into the classroom every day, and how they could relate to another system, which would be their school.
So this program at Rena le Lona is fantastic. Rena le Lona deals with orphaned and vulnerable children, and these children put tremendous pressure on the teachers and the coaches that deal with them every day. And the pressures come from these coaches and teachers having to take on that emotion of the child. And they are young children, they've lost, in many cases, both their parents, they live in child-headed households, and they very often just don't even have a meal at night. So what the centre does is it provides for their emotional, intellectual, spiritual, nutritional needs. So all the tools that we can find that can assist the coaches in doing their job better, we're interested in. So immediately we approached the people from ECL and asked them how we could utilize this methodology within our own NGO. And they were very excited at the opportunity of working with our children and our coaches, and we started the program. And what you really get out of that is a great sense that the children understand each other, that there's no judgment between them, that the coaches understand what the children's needs are better, because it opens up a dialogue that normal conversation doesn't really. The tools that they use are magnificent.
The training in itself is looking at how do the different systems come together. The tools are very creative, and what we've really done here is we like to explore in our trainings with teachers, where we actually put them into focus groups. We teach them the tools and how the teachers can relate this in a simple way to children.
With kids, I think the energy will transform itself through, because now I understand and like a sense of belonging and appreciating and all that.
Since we met, from the last session, it has, like your session, it has helped me a lot. I wanted to focus on myself first, to make it work for me first before I can pass it to the next person. So I must tell you, it did work. Doing the circles with the kids and stuff, the way they were explaining themselves, I used the way you were using it with the circle Rena le Lona. So I was more focusing on the performing side of things. How does it heal them, So most of them, they did explain how they feel. Some, they were right there at the center saying, hey, me, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. I'm a senior here. These kids must learn from me. And then to me, that was like, wow, that's you there, And then even the other kids, it was easy for them to explain, oh, this is where I am. At least now I'm going to know what to say.
The session that we had 2 weeks ago was quite mind-blowing for me. It was quite eye-opening. I think the one exercise we did where we all had to stand in our different cultural groups and in our different religions, and how most South Africans believe how different we are. We Afrikaans, we Xhosa, but in so many ways we're actually very similar. And we were able to cross over and break some of those barriers which exists still in this country. And for me, that was quite eye-opening.
For a lot of kids, they've managed to see some other areas of their lives. They discovered some of themselves.
And it was amazing because I can see that they all want to feel a sense of belonging and a sense of like owning themselves in the space.
The spirit of unity and of Ubuntu that we practice as coaches will actually shower down to the children.
So we watch them do a particular exercise where they pass a ball of string from one person to the other. And what this does is the person then tells the other person what they feel about them. So it's an exercise of giving and receiving and of gratitude.
The Spiderweb program, which kind of touched a lot of people, it starts off very simple, and yet when it goes on, people get very emotional. And I think it's better if emotions are said vocally than physically, because physically it becomes war. And today, that was a proof for it. One thing I'm doing here, I'm pulling the string because this is what Mahamba said, a very touchy subject, is that in Soweto we always had a problem with Zulu-speaking people. And Zulu-speaking people somehow had a problem with others. It was a thing that was go through the system before. And I was beaten up, I was nearly neck-raped by the Zulu-speaking people in a hostel. And I always had a problem of speaking the language. And I must just say, these two guys just opened it. I just want to say thank you. Thank you. I've gained so much.
You can see how amazing you can start off and how you can really encourage them to start talking. This is a wonderful tool for children to be able to really open up.
Aleka. I'm not just adopted as my child. And I love you very much. And I hope you're gonna change a lot and work more like Satanity. And I'm able now doing guitar, doing comedy. People might see you quiet, but mine's combination. We are talking about the best.
The way you tell a corner, you are tired. I am respect her and I am respect her. Make it because I don't believe what I got time. And you are season is to over the season. Ne? Yeah. Yes, I don't know. Sometimes Unjama secrets abanye abantu bangazi bese nyakadayisa
Actually put him to Anigezi Lendango just because we coach around. Put him to is more than that lana. Umsebenzi wakhe actually yabonakala. Izinto eziningi bengizidinga and engizidingayo put him to is always there for me.
In terms of our performance, I like whatever you are doing, my boy, and please don't lose the focus until ungamamela abangani abazoku-influence at bed.
Vici, ngigada ngidlela ngoba ngiyakuthanda.
What you get at the end is a completely integrated web of string, and each one of the children are pulling tightly on it, feeling like they all belong to the same place. It really is magnificent.
So for me, the gift of ECL is that it brings everyone together in a really deep, clear, embodied way that we can all feel that we're not separate.
As much as we were doing the program to implement it with the kids, it literally opened up my world to something that's quite different.
This program taught me a lot of things, and I managed to understand how exactly, as we are human beings, why are we here and why should we persist to become who we are.
I can be a confident and a giving teacher to the children from the ECL program, because it taught me so much, the sense of responsibility.
The children are taught that anything is possible in life, anything. You just have to literally put your mind to it.
There's aspects around honouring the teachers and honouring the elders, which has become a huge gap in our communities. And this has the potential where we really show you need to honour the father, the mother, the people behind you.
I'm changed. I'm somebody today because of this project.
We all need to feel included, heard and seen. And it's these simple things that will rebuild our communities.